Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone, where we're here to bring you live, uninterrupted commentary of the Betfred Championship Round 2 clash between Featherstone Rovers and Wakefield Trinity. It serves up to be a titanic battle between two of the heavyweights in this competition. Both sides coming into the game unbeaten in the championship. One win from one. Featherstone beating Batley in the last minute 2 weeks ago, and Wakefield running out comfortable winners over Bradford. We've just got some team news. We're a few minutes away from kick-off here. We'll start with the teams. We'll start with Wakefield, which make just two changes to the side that swept aside Bradford 2 weeks ago. Josh Griffin and former Featherstone man Matthew Kozza drop out of the side, with Ian Thornley and Caleb Welle recalled into the 17. So Wakefield line up like this. Max Jowett is the fullback with a three-quarter line of Daryl Alfords, Ian Thornley, Oliver Pratt and Lachlan Walmsley. Luke Gale partners Mason Leno in the halves. Up front for Wakefield, Josh Bowden, Liam Hood, Renouf Attorney, Matty Ashurst, who captains the side, Isaiah Vagana and Jay Pitts. On the bench for Trinity, Kai Rodwell makes his debut off the bench, Caleb Welle, Thomas Doyle and Jack Croft. Featherstone, they make three enforced changes, with Tommy LeCans, Brad Day and Mackenzie Yeh all dropping out of the side. But there are recalls with a pair of dual registration players in Louis Gorman and Zach Fishwick, with Maurice Kamano comes into the starting side of the front row. So Rovers line up like this. Caleb Atkins is the fullback. Three-quarter line of Manoa Wakoki, Louis Gorman, Greg Minican and Gareth Gale. Paul Turner gets his first start for Rovers after making his debut last week against Lee. Partners Harry Bowes in the halves. Up front, Gadwin Springer, Connor Jones, Maurice Kamano, with Brad England, Josh Hardcastle and Danny Addy round off the starting side, who captains the side, of course. On the bench for James Ford's men, Connor Wynn, Wellington Albert, Keenan Tomlinson, who makes his 100th career appearance this evening, and Zach Fishwick. So I'm Tom Alderson. I've got a man who's very well known around these parts and very well versed in the history of Featherstone Rovers, the club historian, Mark Kirby, alongside me. Great to have you here, Mark. Just give us your thoughts on this clash this evening, and what sort of a test it'll be for Featherstone so early in the season. Wakefield, of course, tipped to be heavyweights for this competition.
Good evening, Tom. Thanks for having us. It's great to be here. It's cracking crowd on already. It's going to be a great occasion, no doubt. Two of the top four teams in the championship by anybody's standards. 26 years since without playing against Wakefield, and now we've played them twice in 3 weeks. Obviously, that cup defeat to us will have hurt them. They'll probably be coming out stronger than ever. It's rained this afternoon, but it's dry now. There's a little bit of sunshine there, late evening sunshine. So let's see what kind of game we get. Rovers up for it. A few changes from last week. Let's see how we go.
Yeah, I mean, albeit it was an effort in defeat last week against Lee Leopards, but by no means disgraced. I mean, ultimately Featherstone exited out of the cup 26-14 loss to Lee, but Featherstone will have taken a lot out of that. Like, they were very, very competitive for large parts of the game against quality opposition. How much of a boost will that give James Ford's men going into what will be another tough clash against former Super League opposition this afternoon?
I think it's exactly what you said. It was a really, really tough test for him against a good team. Lee are down the bottom of the table in Super League, but I think that's a bit misleading in the sense that they're a very good side. And as far as I'm concerned, although we were beaten, we can only take positives out of that performance. There was a lot to be happy with. Wakoki on the wing, just getting better and better. You know, he made his professional debut for us back in January, so this is only his 8th game of professional rugby league. He's coming on leaps and bounds. We've brought Paul Turner over from Australia. He gave us 40 minutes in the second half. Showed some promise. He's going to be starting at half-back today. That's something that we'll be looking out for. See how we get on. And yeah, I think considering like the fact that we've lost Tommy LeCans today, that was a bit of a blow. But looking at it, I think we've got a chance of another good performance. Maybe we're not expecting to win. Maybe we can pinch it. But it's about setting ourselves up for the rest of the season here. Obviously, as soon as we've played against Wakefield, we're going to have to back up against another championship favourite team, the Bradford, next week. So it's all about momentum and form at this stage of the season, I think.
Yeah, exactly right. Tough start to the season, but does prepare you well for what is ultimately a very long season. Just touching on what you said there at Wakefield, playing them for the second time in 3 weeks, of course, vastly contrasting conditions. What we saw 3 weeks ago, Wakefield, Featherstone rather, getting the win in the most dramatic circumstances, a Gaz Gale try in Golden Point in the mud bath. The pitch seems to be in remarkable nick, considering how much rain we've had. We're expecting a different prospect, a different type of contest this evening.
Yeah, traditionally we always say that the underdog is favoured by the heavy conditions, and the conditions are a bit of a leveller when it's really muddy. We got stuck into that cup tie and we won it. It's a drier looking surface today. Maybe Wakefield's faster and more fleet-footed three-quarters might shine in these conditions, but maybe as well. Yeah, let's see how we go.
Yeah, just looking at Wakefield's team, of course, Featherstone, plenty of quality, plenty of experience in their lineup, of course, but Wakefield's team in particular is quite formidable on paper. You've got the likes of Mason Lino, Luke Gale, experienced Super League players, Max Jowett, Ian Thornley, the list goes on, Jay Pitts. They've got plenty of top pedigree there, haven't they? And it makes no wonder that they're favourites for this competition.
Absolutely, they've managed to keep a course of the squad that took them down from Super League last year. But of course, the big thing for me is Darryl Powell in the coaching box. He's a superb operator. We know him well from Featherstone, and they're going to be formidable opposition for us today.
So there we are, the stage is set, the teams are out on the field. We're just about ready to get this game underway. Round 2 of the Betfred Championship. It's Featherstone Rovers versus Wakefield Trinity. Going to be an exciting clash. Featherstone will have first use of the ball. They're in their home blue and white strip. Wakefield in their change light blue strip with red trim. Featherstone will be attacking up the slope from right to left as we see it in the first half. And we're just about ready to get this game underway. The man in the middle is Liam Rush. He blows time on. Max Jowett puts boot to ball. And a towering kickoff is taken in the in-goal by Gale and handed on to Kamano. Takes the first hit up of the evening. Put down on his back, 11 metres away from his own try line. Turner waits an acting half. Gets his hands on the ball early. Gives it to Gale. Big carry from him, upended in the tackle of Hood. Here comes Springer now. In a shining light in the middle of the pack for Featherstone, takes them forward up over the 20. Jones at acting half, gives it to Addy. Addy, 1 point shy of 500 for his career, so we'll be keeping an eye on whether he can cross the stripe this evening. Plays the ball 30 out, middle of the tackle count for Rovers. Turner just drops off England now, back against the grain, and he's enveloped in the tackle of Attorney and Vagana. He'll play it on the 40, this is the last one. Bit of a miscommunication, Bowes under pressure, it's charged down, and this could be a chance for Wakefield early here if Gale can get the bounce. He picks it up, and he's wrapped up, and that's a fantastic tackle potentially from Caleb Atkinson. He's held up there, as you can hear around the ground. The majority Featherstone fans, what a fantastic try-saving effort from Caleb Atkins. 2 weeks ago, he was the hero with ball in hand, snatching the victory for Batley, against Batley, and this time, how did he get underneath Luke Gale, I beg your pardon there, but the danger not averted as Wakefield take over 10 metres out. Attorney collides with 4 Featherstone defenders. He's standing just to the left of the uprights here, metre out. First tackle for Trinity. Gale out the back to Lino. Lino double pumps, he's knocked down there, and it's straight into the abs of Gale. A great harassing defence from Featherstone first up there, Mark.
Yeah, superb work from Rovers in defence there, because Harry Bowles just couldn't get his kick off quick enough. Charged down by Wakefield. An amazing try-saving tackle from Caleb Akins at the back.
So Featherstone trying to clear their own line here through Minikin. Goes down in the 3-man tackle there. Attorney and Ashurst chief defenders there. Featherstone still well inside their own half. Gorman now playing in the centres this time. Deputised at full-back a fortnight ago against Batley. Did a great job. Finds himself out on the right edge this evening. Bowes centre field, and the first penalty of the game goes to Featherstone. Wakefield encroaching on the 10. We've had 3 minutes gone at the Millennium Stadium. It's still 0-0, but some heart-in-mouth stuff from Featherstone's point of view. But James Ford will certainly be happy with how they've bounced back there and how they responded under pressure. So Featherstone with the touch finder will take over and start their set 30 metres away from Wakefield's line. Gorman taps it, gives it on to Hardcastle in the back row again this evening. How good is it to see Josh Hardcastle back playing regular rugby for Featherstone? Nightmare with injuries and health issues last year. They come through Bowes. Kamano now just straightens things up. Good tackle down low by Jay Pitts. They're approaching the 20 here, Featherstone. Addy gives it on to Springer. No nonsense. Carry straight through the middle. That's a great run from Springer. Advances the ball just shy of the 10. Tackle still in the bag. They come left, out the back to Turner. Short ball there for England. England upended in an uncompromising tackle there from the Wakefield man. Addy. The ball out now to Bose. Bose out to Turner under a little bit of pressure. Finds the pass out wide to Wakoki. Koki couldn't find it and eventually beat him into touch. The thought process was right there. He created the space. He noticed that Walmsley coming off his wing. The execution just not quite right and a chance squandered for Rovers there.
Yeah, superb. That wasn't it. The way that Turner stepped inside, saw his winger out there, spun it out, but just not on the money, the pass. Maybe he was expecting Wakoki Koki to be a little bit wider. Chance lost though for Rovers there. If he'd have taken that, he could have sprinted in at the corner.
Yeah, it would have been a simple finish, you'd imagine. And as Wakefield looking to clear their lines, players around the ruck claiming a high tackle there on Daryl Alford. Not given, but now the penalty does go against Feather, and it's against Springer for the second effort on the tackle there. So frustration for Featherstone, allowing Wakefield to clear their line this time. Both sides guilty of it inside the opening 5 minutes. Still Featherstone 0, Wakefield 0 as Gale finds touch just underneath the commentary position here. And Wakefield will start their set on their own 40. Thornley eventually gets the game back underway. Vanganar now, son of Bradford legend Joe, plays the ball just shy of the halfway line. Hoodwakes an acting half, gives it to Pitts onto a Tony now through the middle of the field. Good contact, first up from Kamano, stops him in his tracks. A real man-mountain runner for Tony. Plays the ball for Hood to Pitts. Out the back to Gale, short ball immediately to Ashurst. He's swallowed up there by Hardcastle. Bose down low to help out. Wakefield 30 metres out from the Wakefield, the Featherstone line. Lino gives it off now to Vanganar. Has the arm free, taking Featherstone defenders with him, and they eventually regroup and put him down 10 metres out. And he's lost the ball in the tackle there, and that'll be a turnover, a simple knock on. He'd done all the hard work. Isaiah Vanganar, who was taking defenders with him. It was Jones who eventually scragged him to ground and just fluffing his lines there, not concentrating, too quick to get up, try and play the ball, and a simple turnover for Rovers.
Yeah, you can see from the early sets that both sides are playing a more expansive game than they played in the cup tie, probably due to the conditions. Wakefield there, they realised that they've spent another good opportunity, but then Rovers had their chances as well. It's a very open game so far. Yeah,
end-to-end stuff, but still no score as we approach the 6-minute mark here at the Millennium Stadium. 0-0 as Featherstone play the scrum win to Wakoki Koki, who comes forward and is put on his back 20 metres out on the first tackle. Centre field. Plays it. They go short side on the right for Gorman. Comes off his right foot. Uncompromising challenge from the Wakefield skipper there, Ashurst. He plays it just outside the 20. Springer now trying to rumble his way up to the 30 and eventually put on his back. Physical defensive work from Wakefield early on here, it has to be said, as Addy comes forward. Short pass there for England. Hint of a high tackle there from Bowden, not given by the referee. Featherstone making okay progress upfield here. A couple of tackles still to come for the hosts. Addy, flat pass for Kamano. That's a good carry, but he's lost the ball in the tackle there. Just spilling the ball in contact. And he gets up, he's frustrated with himself. The Featherstone players get around him. But a cheap turnover, it has to be said, Mark, inside their own half, and just inviting Wakefield in here.
Yeah, bad mistake, but a strong tackle from Wakefield. 3 men in on him just as he took the ball. And unfortunately, spilled the pass. Wakefield take over possession just inside our half. We're going to have to defend well.
As you said, I suppose it's a sign of that both teams, in fact, trying to play a bit more expansively forward, stringing passes together at the line, and that one just putting Kamano under a little bit too much pressure as Wakefield feed the scrum, win it on halfway. Lino gives it on to Thornley. Thornley is taken to ground there by Jones. Over the top was Turner in England. Wakefield first tackle 40 metres from the Featherstone line as Alford comes across field, shaped to give it outside, kept hold of it himself, the former Castleford and Leeds man. Just his second appearance for Wakefield, I believe. Plays it 30 out. They come short side now. Jowie gives it on to Pratt. Pratt goes down 20 metres out. This is arguably Wakefield's best possession of the game since the opening set as Gale takes the ball in field, gives it out to Pitts to Lino. Lino shaped to give it to the flat pass. The Wakefield man, it was Vanganar had overrun the play. Lino just had to submit to the tackle. Otherwise, that would have been a penalty against him. Bowden spins out of the tackle, but a great second effort there from Springer brings him down. Last tackle, centre field, Wakefield, 10 metres out. Looking for the first score of the game. Gale gives it out to Jowett, gives it out to Walmsley. There's space for Walmsley, who dives over acrobatically in the corner. And the referee's going to point to the spot, awards the try to Lachlan Walmsley, prolific try scorer in his career in England, firstly with Halifax and doing the same with Wakefield. A well-worked play, it has to be said, from right to left through several pairs of hands, found Walmsley on the fly, and there was very little that the covering defender Aikins could do. Walmsley just dived over the top of the corner post, gets the ball down, and he gets the first score of the game. We're 9 minutes into the contest here. It's Featherstone Rovers 0, Wakefield Trinity 4.
Yeah, you could see as Wakefield moved the ball, they looked up, they had a 4-on-3 overlap, and then it was all about the execution, wasn't it? Very, very quick hands from Wakefield. Put Walmsley into a gap. He doesn't need that kind of invitation. He's an absolutely lethal finisher. Still took some finishing, dives in at the corner, and that puts Wakefield ahead. Our defence was stretched there. We just didn't have the numbers on that right-hand side, and Wakefield, well, on the balance of possession, you'd probably say, yeah, they were more likely to take the opening score, but nothing to be too disheartened about for Rovers at the moment.
No, absolutely not. I do feel as though Featherstone had defended that set quite well, but as you quite rightly say, Wakefield, we talked off air before and we referenced it in the lead up to the game, that the half-back partnership, Lino and Gale, it's formidable at Super League level, never mind Championship, and the slickness in which they just moved the ball wide there was always going to have Featherstone stretched, and just couldn't get the men over in time. And as you said, Lachlan Walmsley will finish those 9 times out of 10 and made no mistake in the left corner. Now Jowett has conversion attempt, don't get much tougher, about 20 metres out, tight to that left touch line, and the ball's left his boot and it guides it between the posts to the joy of the Wakefield fans at the far end of the stadium. It's now Featherstone Rovers 0, Wakefield Trinity 6.
Yeah, good kick that from Thornley. 4 points to 6 makes a difference. Rovers going to have to bounce back now.
So Featherstone, ball back on the tee. Louis Gorman will be the man to get the game back underway. And he just punts it down the far end, takes a couple of bounces off the boot of Alfords, flirting with the touchline there, picks it up safely in the end, and is tackled on his own 20 by Turner. What have Featherstone got in response in defence? As Springer looking to fire up his team, comes flying out of the line. And Vangenaar did very well not to stay on his feet there. And plays the ball quickly for Bowden. Bowden comes forward. Taken on the 30, centre field by Springer, really putting himself about Gadwin Springer early in this game. Pitts. That ball playing loose forward roll in the middle. Goes down just shy of the 40, Wakefield side of halfway. Couple of tackles to come for the visitors. A Tony, no-nonsense carry straight up the middle. He's taking a few Featherstone defenders with him, proving a real handful. Ran off for Tony. Plays the ball 5 metres into Featherstone territory on the last. Lino has the kicking duties, puts it high. Looking to put Gale under a little bit of pressure. It's hanging in the wind, takes it calmly. And the chase is a good one from Wakefield, but good composure shown from Gale there as Featherstone have their hands on the ball once again. Minikin comes forward through the middle. Blue jerseys all around him, take him to ground on his own 15. Featherstone 0, Wakefield 6. You're listening on FRTV as Wakoki comes forward and he's driven back there by 4 blue jerseys once again. Wakefield getting men into the tackles early here. Turner, dummies, straightens, gets the arm free and just loses the ball there. And it's eventually dropped on by Brad England again. Featherstone have had a couple of half opportunities there. You could see what Turner was trying to do. He caught the defence half napping, got both of his arms free, was looking for the offload, but just spilt the ball when trying to promote the ball, and ultimately will be another cheap turnover at the wrong end of the field here, Mark.
Yeah, disappointing that, isn't it? Because he just looked like he got his nose through the line, but his handling let him down, and like you say, he's put his side back on the defence now because Wakefield Trinity 30 metres out, scrum centre field. They might put a move on from this scrum and will do well to defend it.
So a big defensive set coming up for James Ford's men here. Trailing by the 6 points. The converted Lachlan Walmsley try, the only score of the game so far. As you say, Wakefield 30 metres out, scrum is won. Gale takes it first receiver, gives it on to Lino. Good defence out of the line there from Gorman. Comes in and shuts down the play very well indeed. Ashurst now on the second carry, taken by Hardcastle. Helped out there was Addy. Still wrestling forward here is Ashurst. Easily one of the most experienced players on the field. And the 6 again, given messing around in the play. The ball as a Tony's knocked off his feet there by Springer and Addy, but left some bodies on the ground and plays it quickly. Gale gives it out to Jowett. Jowett out to Walmsley again. Walmsley with a carbon copy finish in the corner. scores his second try in just 5 minutes, and Max Jowett, the man doing all the damage this time. He got the ball out the back, floated the ball over the top. He'd seen that Wakefield coming off his wing to try and shut it down, and it just looked like rinse and repeat of the first try, really, Mark. It opened up the space for Walmsley. He went for the same corner. He dived over with arguably a little bit more room. Ultimately, the second try to Wakefield, they extend their lead. It's Featherstone 0, Wakefield 10.
Yep, very similar looking try. Fast hands, moving it right, moving it left for them and exploiting our right-hand edge. As you said, Wakefield comes in field to solve a problem. We've criticised him in the past for a little bit for doing that, but I think there he was legitimate. We're outnumbered and he did have to come in. And obviously, once the ball got into Walmsley's hands again, another free run to the line, acrobatic dive for the cameras, and his second try in, what's that now, 12 minutes, yeah?
And really, you'd have to say that Featherstone at the moment only have themselves to blame, because you could argue that Wakefield haven't really worked their way, or haven't had to work hard for those opportunities. They've come off the back of Featherstone errors in their own half, and as we said at the beginning of this game, you give a side with the quality of Wakefield chances like that, more often than not, they're going to punish you.
Definitely. We were nervous, weren't we? Paul turned a knocks on 30 metres from his own line, and you think, oof, how are we going to survive these 6 tackles? A very, very fast play of the ball from Ashurst midfield, allows them to get the numbers on the left, and they've outdone us again.
As Jowett, from more or less the same position, makes no mistake again in converting the try. It's now Featherstone Rovers 0, Wakefield Trinity 12. So the early advantage and the early dominance to Trinity. Still very early in the piece though, of course, here. Just under quarter of an hour of the game gone here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone need to respond here, need to get themselves back into this contest. 2 tries in quick succession to Lachlan Walmsley, as they get the game back underway now, and an untidy kick-off beats Lino, but eventually cleaned up there by Vanganar, who just spins out of the tackle again. Proving a real handful, Isaiah Vanganar, eventually wrapped up on his 20 by Addy. Ball comes out to Alforts now, who's been busy on this Wakefield right wing. Goes down centre field, good tackle from Springer. Play the ball comes to Gale. Early ball there to Asher. Seems to be a real theme, getting traffic at Bowes there. Just getting the ball out to the skipper nice and early. Plays it on the 40. Good tackle from Bowes in this instance. Bowden comes forward again, just tucks the ball under his arm. And he's locked up there by Addy. On the halfway line and up and over it now through Pitts. Pitts just trundling forward again. Good tackle from Camano. This will be the last one. Wakefield are going to kick from about 45 out. Lino has a little bit of time, puts it into the night sky, and it's taken well there by Akins. No panic, never took his eyes off the ball, but immediately enveloped in the Wakefield tackle there. So you'd have to say Trinity doing all of the little things right at the moment, challenging Featherstone to get up the right end of the field as James Ford makes his first change of the evening. Wellington Albert is on the field for Maurice Camano. So just trying to freshen up the middles a little bit here. Featherstone in the last 5-10 minutes have done a lot of defending as they try to clear their lines here. Miniken tries to skip away from Vanganar, just stays with him and helped out by Lino in the end, puts him down. Featherstone's on Featherstone's 40-metre line. Short side play, Turner drops off England skips away from a Tony, but he can't get away from him in the end as the big front rower puts him down. That'll be the last one. Kicking from 40 out. Bowes puts it high, hanging. This will be a fairly simple one for Jowett, who takes it under no pressure, gives it on to Alforts, who's got a little bit of room to move, gives it to Walmsley. Walmsley loses the ball in the tackle there. Wakefield got the ball and it's going to come back for a penalty there. And I have to say, that's a harsh call, because Wakefield was away for the try, and even if, I think at worst that was a double knock on. I don't see there was any grounds for a ball steal there. It looked to me like Walmsley had lost possession into Wakefield, and I feel like Featherstone a little bit hard done by there.
I do too. I mean, I know we've got Rovers tinted specs on, but it looked a nice one-on-one steal by Wakefield, and it was away, and that was 6 points. But obviously the referee's seen something in there. And again, Wakefield, they're not letting up, are they? They're back in possession and entering the Featherstone half.
Yep, up and over the halfway line, off that tap restart through Pratt, who plays it 40 out now. Tony has to duck to take that one, and actually brings it forward, wraps up and driven backwards. A good tackle from Albert there over the top. Two big bodies colliding there. Wakefield 12 points to the good. Drops off Bowden in the middle. Goes down, put on his back, 30 metres out there, Josh Bowden. Lino, first receiver on the right, steps off his right foot, looking to find some space in the middle, and he just finds Springer, who throws him to ground unceremoniously. But he plays it quickly for Hood, who scampers out to dummy half, picks up 10 easy metres, but wrapped up there by his opposite number, Jones. And that'll be the last one. Options left and right for Trinity. Pitts puts the kick through the line there. Aikens is going to let that one run dead, and did very well there, Caleb Aikens, using all his experience and composure, and now he's going to run it back with interest, taps it quickly, and he's through a little bit of room here, beats one, beats two, eventually goes down in the tackle of Pratt. What a play that is from Caleb Aikens, as Featherstone looking to go on the attack. They're 5 short of halfway on what will be just the first tackle here. Of course, that's a 7 tackle set on the back of it, and probably the first time that Wakefield have done something wrong in this game, really, as Gorman, up and over the halfway, finds the offload for Hardcastle, tries to stand up, Pratt gives it to Wakoki Koki tries to go around Walmsley, who sticks to him well and takes him to ground. Jones, a little bit of room to move, up and over the 30. This is good from Featherstone. Arguably their best opportunity of the game so far. Bowes, untidy pass along the deck, eventually finds Aikens. Aikens gives it on to Minikin. Minikin tries to go around Thornley, good one-on-one tackle from the Trinity centre. Still tackles remaining for Featherstone, trailing by the 12 points. Turner shapes to pass, keeps hold of it, still standing in the tackle, leaves 3 defenders on the ground there. Turner goes again and eventually wrapped up by Vanganar. And now it's a penalty given against Wakefield. Messing around in the tackle there. And just Turner there showing some desire, just wouldn't refuse to be put down on the ground, and earns another set of 6 here for Featherstone, and their best opportunity to mount some pressure on Wakefield finally in this game.
Absolutely. What we saw of Paul Turner on his debut in the second half at Lee last week is that he looks like when he starts skipping and dancing along there, he looks difficult to get down, and he's done that the same as well. In there, drawn a penalty, and Rovers have a good chance now. You can see that, I mean, Wakefield is extremely well coached side, aren't they? Darryl Powell, he knows his rugby, and he's looked at Featherstone's right edge and said, okay, we're Koki, strong runner, but he's still learning the game. Louis Gorman there, very composed young man, still a teenager, but again also learning the game. And Harry Bowes, naturally a middle defender, but he's working in the halves, and they've targeted that side, and it's really worked for them. And that doesn't mean to say at all that Rovers have played badly, but they've really hit that side for us. But Rovers have got a penalty. We're 25 metres away. Let's see what we can do.
So the tap restart, game back underway. Addy has the ball. There's a great pass there for Hardcastle. Back inside to Danny Addy, who scores under the post. And what a way to bring up your 500 points of your career. Really slick play from the Featherstone captain. A lovely delayed short pass to Hardcastle, straight off the tap from the penalty. Hardcastle went through, found his skipper back on the inside. He dives over under the post, and that's just the try that Featherstone needed to get back into this contest. And who better blood to go to than the skipper? We've got 22 minutes gone at the Millennium Stadium. It's now Featherstone Rovers 4, Wakefield Trinity 12.
Superb work from skipper Danny Addy, absolutely brilliant. Gives the short ball to Hardcastle. Hardcastle steams through, finds Addy back in support, and he goes under the sticks. Just what the doctor ordered for Featherstone Rovers, because we were rocking there without possession, inside our own half, 12-0 down, and now we're right back in it. Gorman's got a conversion from underneath the post. He should slot that over, but thanks to Danny Addy. And as you said, 500 career points for Rovers club skipper. Most of them, of course, in his early days at Bradford, but he's been around for a long time, and I think we're lucky to have him this year because I still think he's Super League standard. Really led the side well last week at Lee, and he's carried on again today.
As Gorman makes no mistake in adding the 2 points, so we have a 6-point ball game once again here. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 12. 23 minutes of the contest gone here. Exactly as we were expecting. Tough end-to-end contest between two good sides, and as you say there, Mark, Danny Addy been a real shining light for Featherstone so far. Leading by example, was instrumental in their comeback win against Batley a fortnight ago. Gets on the score sheet once again here, and more importantly, brings Featherstone right back into this contest. Wakefield had it their own way up until this point on the scoreboard, but Featherstone good value for that try and cut the deficit to just one score. Jowett with the restart now. Gale's going to have to get on his bike to take this one. It's an awkward one, eventually taken on the bounce by Minikin. I don't know whether that hung up in the wind or it was just the way that Jowett had kicked it, but an awkward one diffused in the end by Featherstone. Turner feeds England now. England goes down on his 20. There's a Wakefield man taking a bit of a knock. I think that's Pitts who's come reeling out of that tackle as Springer comes forward now. Featherstone with a spring in their step after that try. Jones gives it on to Albert now, man mountain that he is. Struggling, stay on his feet, but goes down eventually. In the tackle. Short side play for Bose. Bose gives it on to Gorman. Gorman off his right foot. Tries to stand up and go around. Pratt can't do so, but will go down a metre short of halfway. Last tackle for Featherstone. Good set after points. Bose puts it into the air once again, end over end, looking to test out Jowett. Jowett takes it cleanly and a little bit of room to run. About 10 metres or so before he met the Featherstone chasers, but not a bad set after points at all.
Yeah, he gets a big punt on the sixth tackle, does Bose. Ideally, I suppose we'd be a bit further up on the chase, but not a bad result after scoring. Wakefield still penned inside their own half.
So Walmsley, 2 tries to his name already this evening, goes down 5 short of halfway as Wakefield make another change. It's Caleb Uele comes on the field now, so Reno Fatoni actually went off just before that Featherstone try, so Wakefield interchanging both their prop forwards as Lino nearly slipped the net, but a good tackle on the inside from Springer. This will be the last one from Wakefield, 30 metres out. Gale just punches the ball up and over on the blind side, taken by Aikins. Aikins spins and goes down in the tackle there of Thornley. It's a real set-for-set attritional stuff here at the Millennium Stadium. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 12, if you're just joining us live on FRTV. Turner waits an acting half, gives it to Wakoki. Just no-nonsense carry, but an equally solid challenge there from Thornley as Springer comes from the field. Been excellent so far in his early spell as Zach Fishwick on dual registration from Hull Kingston Rovers is into the game now for the home side.
Yep, Fishwick looked very good on his debut in a mud bath. We're well impressed with him. Still only a youngster, teenager, but incredibly well built for a prop forward. But Springer's doing great minutes for us in 2024. Been really, really impressed with his work.
So the last tackle for Featherstone. Turner's going to do the kicking this time from deep inside his own half. He's got plenty of that, but taken on the full there by Alferts. Alferts just going to run into a barrage of Featherstone defenders. Really strong challenge underneath there from Connor Jones. But Wakefield take over and start their set on the halfway line here. Walmsley into the tackle of Jones, doubling up on his defensive efforts. Over the top was Wellington Albert. Lino gives it on to Vanganar now. Just bounced away from the initial challenge of Minikin. Real handful, Isaiah Vanganar. Every time he carries the ball, skittling defenders, standing in the tackle. Gale digs it to the line, gives it to Lino. Double pumps to Jowett. This is dangerous. Pratt through the line, gives it to Walmsley again. Walmsley's into space. There's defenders coming across this time. What an effort that is from Caleb Aikins. Brings him down a blade of grass short. Still tackles in the bank for Wakefield though. Featherstone trapped on their own line as Lino stands in the tackle of England, gives it on to Gale. Gale's got options, slides the kick through, but Aikins doubles up in that defensive play. Beats Alferts, he's got space down the touchline now. Does the right thing and cuts back in field. But what a 60 seconds defensively for Caleb Aikins. He made the effort to stop Walmsley in one corner, gets all the way to the other side of the field, 2 tackles later to sweep up and makes ground at the end. Fantastic play from the Featherstone fullback.
Astonishing work from Aikins. Walmsley for me looked to score all the way and
got the ball wide, but Wakoki puts the ball down, and it was almost, the pass was almost too quick for him there. Gorman just tapped it on. There was nothing wrong with the ball, and Wakoki just puts it down. If he'd taken that, there was some real open space in front of him, and fine margins, as we always say in this game, Mark, an error. You know, that sticks in the hands. Wakoki's got a good 30-40 metres. Would have been interested to see what had happened. In the end, the result is a scrum on the 30 for Wakefield Trinity. Those fine margins going against Featherstone again here.
He's 30 yards from his own line, but the whole thing opens up for him. He takes that ball, he'll score. He's got the speed to do it, and just dropped it.
So Wakefield with another invitation down Featherstone's end. Lino drops off Thornley, who got rid of Turner the first time. Turner came again to bring him down. And Wakefield with a full set of 6, 20 metres out as Welle comes forward now. Tackle down low from Fishwick. We're still standing in the tackle of Addy there. It's going to be a slow play of the ball. Back in front of the post. They come left. 10 metres out. Gale. Long ball from Lino over the top to Walmsley. Walmsley in loads of space, but Wakefield did well to regroup, shut down the play there. Featherstone learning their lessons defensively on that edge in the last few minutes. As Walmsley wants quick play of the ball. I don't know what we're doing here. He's protesting something. There's some push and shove in the back play there. Play on is the call. Gale eventually gets the ball, gives it out to Jowett. Jowett again to Alforts. It's knocked on there by Daryl Alforts. And this time, Wakefield's execution letting them down, but good harassing defence off the line from Featherstone. Exactly what the home side needed. Getting in their face, cutting off their space, and ultimately forcing the error.
It's what you said, Tom. Twice in 2 minutes now, Wakefield have shifted it left. It brought them 2 tries early on, and both times, this time, Rovers got across and covered. First one was a bit of a miracle play with Caleb Aikins managing to drag Walmsley down inches from the line. This time, 3 men covering. Walmsley couldn't finish it off in the corner. So, like you say, Featherstone are learning. Wakefield have moved it right, and then Oliphants has dropped it on this side. So, a let-off for us, but I think we deserve that.
Yeah, they're certainly working hard defensively, Featherstone, and are going to have to work hard to get up the right end of the field here as Gorman takes it from the scrum win, but he's tackled and not much ground in the offering there for Wakefield on the second tackle. Featherstone still penned inside their own 20. That's a good relieving run from Hardcastle, who's standing in tackles there, refusing to go down. Great run from Josh Hardcastle. Plays it on the 30. Bowes. Centre fielder coming wide now through Turner. Turner out the back to Aikins. Little bit of room. Aikins slipped the net there. They just managed to get hold of the shirt tails. Did Mason Lino. They come back through the middle now. Turner onto Albert. Albert stopped half a blade of grass short of the halfway line, and he'll play it on halfway here on the last tackle. 6 again given on the last tackle. This is what Featherstone needed. Turner steps inside 1, dummies to go on the outside, eventually gives it to Minikin, who thought for a second he hadn't heard the 6 again call. But Featherstone now with another great opportunity, 30 metres away from the Trinity line on just the first tackle. Featherstone 6, Wakefield 12 as we approach the half-hour mark of this one. Wakefield roared into a 12-0 lead, but Featherstone fighting back in the last few minutes as Addy, the try scorer, gives it out to Bowes. Bowes out to Aikins. Aikins to Gorman. Gorman tries to go around Pratt, but Wakefield's defence had shifted well there on that far side, shut him down 20 metres out. Looping pass back in field, and Wakefield dropped the ball in the ruck. And an unhappy couple of minutes, it has to be said, for the former Hull FC academy player. Just dropping the ball there, just fluffing his lines really. A lack of concentration in the ruck when going down to pick it up, and a golden opportunity squandered again for Featherstone, and a real let-off for Wakefield, who are looking a little bit shaky defensively there.
It's a shame that, isn't it? Because I really thought we were putting a lot of pressure there. We're inside their half, moving into their 25, and just a little tickle of a knock-on acting off, but from Wakefield, Wakefield will be back in possession. But I mean, there's a lot for us to be heartened about. We've really come back into this game. We're going toe-to-toe. Looking at Paul Turner on this side, he can sidestep on a sixpence. This lad is just very, very light on his feet. And I think we're asking them some questions for once.
Absolutely, as Wakefield coming forward again now. Thornley with the second carry off the back of the Alforts drive. Still deep in their own half here, Wakefield, as they come forward through Welle. Welle, good shot underneath the ball there from Danny Addy. Leading by example once again with and without the ball, as Hood left a man on the ground, picks it up. Fishwick was the man who's just stung in that tackle. He finds the offload, untidy on the floor to Jowett. Jowett keeps hold, stops, stutters, and goes through the line, and eventually tackled by Jones. Wakefield approaching the Featherstone 30 now. Gale into the line, digs it in behind the line. It's a good kick. It's taken on the toe there by Walmsley, but it's wrapped up in the end by the Featherstone man. I believe that's Josh Hardcastle. Nice bit of play from Gale, who noticed space in behind. The kick came through. Walmsley got his foot to it, but didn't get as good a piece of it as he would have liked, and the desperation in back play from Featherstone to tidy up once again.
Wakefield will definitely count that as a missed opportunity. It's a lovely kick through. Walmsley screams onto it, gets first to the ball, and he's got a man inside. So he elects to kick on, but the kick's wayward, and like you say, Josh Hardcastle backpedaling, dives on it gratefully. The
good offload there out of the tackle from Albert. Short pass from Jones to Bowes. This is what we like to see, players linking up there, the spine players finding some passes. It's Featherstone on their own 40. Jones is going to kick from dummy half. It's a bullet kick that bounced off, cannoned off the chest there of Jowett, who managed to propel it backwards. And he finds the pass there for Alphonse, who knocks the ball on into the arms of Turner now. Steps off his left foot and he's taken down by Alphonse. Cracks starting to appear in Wakefield here. The errors are coming. And Featherstone now with a golden opportunity once again. 30 metres from the Wakefield line. Featherstone trail by 12 points to 6. Inside the final 9 minutes of the first half as Liam Hood is interchanged now. Doyle on the field for the visitors. As Albert is cut down in a good tackle there. As they come forward, Jones looking for a man inside. Eventually tips it up to England. England straightens things up. Grassed in the tackle of Welle. Jowett was over the top. Couple of metres out, 10 metres to the left-hand side of the post. Still a couple of tackles to come. They're shifting the ball wide here. Aikens out to Gorman. Gorman trying to go on the outside of Pratt. Tried to find the offload, kept hold of it in the end. Plays it. Wakoki-Koki's got a little bit of room to move. He's going to try it himself. Goes down a metre short of the line. 10 in from the far touchline. What would Featherstone give for a score here? Burs digs the ball into the in-goal area. It's picked up. Lino's gone without it and eventually drops on it. And that'll be a goal line dropout. The next best result there, Mark. Featherstone just showing their patience. They don't need to score on every play. Just twisting the knife a little bit, putting Wakefield under more pressure.
That's right. A very, very good set of 6 for Featherstone Rovers and not a bad end. They've knocked on in goal and they're going to drop out to us. We're turning the screw.
So Wakefield, understandably, in no real hurry to get this game back underway. A lot of walking around behind the in-goal as Jowett eventually gets boot to ball. It's end over end again as Buzz has really got to run after that. Takes it well, gives it on to Albert now. And Albert just careers into the Wakefield line. And brave defensive effort from Doyle in the middle. Featherstone 20 metres out. Full centre 6. Fishwick comes forward. 7 minutes to go to the break. Featherstone 6, Wakefield 12. It is a big set as they come forward. The high tackle there on Turner. This will be a penalty surely after the play, but he offloads to Aikens. Aikens comes off his right foot, fleet of foot, looking to get some space there, and he will be wrapped up, and that will be a penalty. No more than a penalty, I don't think, just a lazy swinging arm, and it just goes back to that point you were making, Mark. For a big athletic guy, Paul Turner, extremely good on his feet, just making defenders miss, and draws another set of 6 for Featherstone.
That'll not be the first defender that gets caught out by a sidestep from Turner. Like you say, it's a penalty. Good refereeing, allow the advantage, and then he's pulled it back. So the tap restart into the arms of Addy. Just keeps hold of it this time. 3 Wakefield defenders in attendance. Plays the ball to the left of the post, 10 metres out. Centre field, Bowes just gives it on to Fishwick. A little bit of a stutter into the line and eventually finds his front. 9 metres out, just to the right-hand side of the posts. Second tackle, Addy. Gives it out to Bowes. Bowes shapes to give it wide. A little bit of space. Gives it to Minikin, who wasn't quite ready for it. Keeps hold of it. Eventually finds the offload for Aikens, who has to go back for it. Featherstone looking a little bit frantic on this play. Still plenty of tackles to come. As Jones now just skips across field and is eventually manhandled to the ground there by Thornley. Just a little bit more patience needed here, perhaps, for Featherstone. Addy now. Gives it on to Albert. Huge challenge there in the middle. Thunderous challenge from the Wakefield defender. That was a really strong shot from Rodwell, who's onto the field for his debut for Wakefield, as Bowes digs the ball in behind the line here. If it pulls up, it's going to be anybody's ball, and it just beats Gorman over the dead ball line again. Fine margins, Mark. That kick just a yard too long for the Featherstone chasers. Results in a 7-tackle set for Wakefield. Yep, fine margins indeed. Good vision from Bowes. That was exactly what he wanted. The kick through. There was nobody at home. He just put a bit too much weight on it. It goes dead, and the nearest man to it was Gorman to dive on it, but he couldn't.
So Wakefield look to clear their line here. Still no change to the score. It's Featherstone 6, Wakefield Trinity 12. Make it 5 minutes in the first half remaining here at the Millennium Stadium, listening live on FRTV. As Alforts had a mixed bag so far, Daryl Alforts. It's a couple of errors. It's something that he has been known for doing at Super League level, his time at Castleford and Leeds. But as Wakefield come forward again here, the tackle, Doyle plays the ball 5 metres into Featherstone territory. Pitts gives it out to Gale. Coming wide again here, Jowett into the line, gives it to Pratt. Pratt trying to go on the outside of Gorman. Good cover defence there from Louis Gorman, who was beaten in first up but tracked back very quickly. And I think a 6 again given against Featherstone here, just hanging on a little bit too long. So Wakefield now with their own opportunities. Penalty given now for I think it's a shoulder charge against Danny Addy. He seemed to come reeling out of that tackle with his arms tucked, and don't think we can have too many complaints over that one. Again, penalty sufficient, but just how quickly can things turn, Mark? It was Featherstone with 3 back-to-back sets at the other end. They go within a metre of the kick pulling up for a try. Now all of a sudden, 7-tackle set, penalty. Wakefield have got a chance from bang in front to stretch it to an 8-point lead just before the break.
Yeah, they took advantage of a mistake from us to match themselves downfield, and then Danny Addy's given away a penalty there, straight in front. He really should have wrapped his arms around the man, but it turned into a shoulder charge. But Wakefield are taking the 2, and let's say, you know, they're probably relieved to be doing that, because they're 6 points up. They're playing downhill, but in truth, I think we've had the better of it for the last 20 minutes. Maybe Addy's just going to get a little talking to about his tackling style, but he's not going to change at this stage of his career. I don't think there was an awful lot in that, to be honest. It's a penalty, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, I think it was just the angle of which the Wakefield player came forward. I think he came in initially to wrap, and then just at the last minute had to turn his body. And yeah, it definitely was a shoulder charge, but no more than that. Just a talking to sufficient. And Jowett will have the penalty conversion attempt from 20 metres out, more or less bang in front, as we see below as Wellington Albert given a rest by coach James Ford. I know we said it's not the mud bath it was 3 weeks ago, but the pitch still fairly heavy, starting to chop up a little bit. As Jowett, referee blows time off here, but Jowett has the conversion attempt, 2 from 2 so far in this game, looking to make it 3 from 3. Makes absolutely no mistake, and Wakefield open up an 8-point advantage just before half-time. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 14.
Yeah, it's interesting. So obviously Albert's had his 20-minute spell come off. It's actually Gadwin Springer who's come back on, and he's only had a 20-minute rest, so he's going to do the last 5 minutes before half-time. But then again, you know, we've got a second-row man, Tomlinson, on the bench, and we've also got a 3-quarter Connor Wynn on the bench. So we're really going to have to be clever with our rotation of the middles. I'm sure James Ford's worked it all out. But here we go, last 5 minutes.
So the kick-off from the boot of Gorman, taken on the try line by Lino, gives it on now to Rodwell, who just takes it, no-nonsense carry into the teeth of the Featherstone defence. Good tackle from England, and Addy put him down. A flat pass there from Vangenaar to Welle. Well read there by Springer. As you say, back into the action for his second spell already in this first half, as Doyle comes forward, looking to spark things up round the ruck for Wakefield. Good tackle again from Jones and Springer. They come forward, Thornley up and over the halfway line. Jones just about brings him down, but this is a dominant set going forward from Wakefield, it has to be said, as Lino dummies, an outrageous dummy there, but into the arms of Turner and helped out by Minican. Wakefield will play it 30 metres out on the last. They're coming short side. Jowett just pokes the ball down along the line, taken well by Akins again, who's wrapped up 5 metres out, but Wakefield won't mind that. Got Featherstone penned in the corner here as Gale runs straight at his opposite number there, Alforts, who wraps him up 10 metres away from his own line. And the penalty goes against Wakefield here, a relieving penalty, just the second effort on the tackle from Vangenaar. And Featherstone, with just a couple of minutes of this first half remaining, will get a chance, if they can keep hold of the ball, to just mount perhaps a half opportunity here. As in fact the siren goes, the clock evidently just a couple of minutes out, as this will be the last play. 40 metres away from their own line, it's just a tap and given to Brad England, who just stands and eventually goes down in the tackle, as we get the second siren there to remind everybody that it is half-time here at the Millennium Stadium. And I think this fixture has lived up to the billing, a really tough battle between two very good sides in the Betfred Championship. Wakefield raced into a 12-point lead thanks to a quick-fire brace from Lachlan Walmsley, both converted by Max Jowett, before Danny Addy, the Featherstone captain, getting a try underneath the sticks to cut the gap to 6. And just a couple of minutes before half-time, Jowett converting a simple penalty goal from bang in front to stretch Wakefield's lead to just the 8-point margin. Leaves a half-time score at the Millennium Stadium as Featherstone 6, Wakefield 14. Mark, Featherstone have definitely had some good bits, some bits that they'd probably like to improve on. What's your overall assessment of that first half?
It's what you said. I think they were going to blow us away at the start. It was 12 points in 12 minutes, and we worried about what was going to happen. But just through hard work, we got back into the arm wrestle. A lot of graft went on in the forwards, got some field position, then finally took advantage of with that very, very neat try from Addy on the run around with Hardcastle. And obviously the penalty there stretches Wakefield's lead to 8 points. But we're going to play downhill in the second half. Why not? All to play for.
As you just see there, the try that Addy scored, a really, really vital bit of play and a real smart bit of play from the skipper. Just really arrested that Wakefield momentum and gives Featherstone something to build on going into the second half. And as you say, coming downhill in the second half, the message from James Ford will surely be to just maybe tidy up a few of those errors and the ill discipline, and they've really got the basis to put Wakefield under some pressure in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got some firepower out wide as well when we're in range. We've had Caleb Aikens' very, very tidy-looking performance in the first half. He'll come back into it. And Paul Turner still finding his feet. He'll be an attacking weapon when he's ready. All to play for.
So there you have it. Half-time at the Millennium Stadium. We'll take a very short break and come back for all the second half action. It's Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 14. Hello and welcome back to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone, where we're here. Half-time in the Betfred Championship Round 2 clash between Featherstone Rovers and Wakefield Trinity. The half-time score when we last spoke was Featherstone 6, Wakefield Trinity 14. I'm Tom Alderson alongside Featherstone Club historian Mark Kirby. Mark, as we were just saying, Featherstone need a big start to this half, but one thing that has drastically changed in the half-time is the conditions. It's now absolutely tipping it down. What does that do to the mindset of both sides here?
Yeah, James Ford would have been in the changing room saying, right, we cut out these errors, we're in this, we're going downhill in the second half. They've run out onto the field. There's an absolute rainstorm lashing into their faces. There's obviously a bit of wind as well because it is coming from right to left. And as I can see, just before kick-off, we've actually got Connor Wynn out on the wing here. So I think that means he's taken off Wakoki.
He has, as Featherstone get the game back underway. Wakefield with the first opportunity in this second half. Featherstone attacking from left to right as we see it in this second half, coming down the hill. Trailing by the 8 points, but Wakefield certainly made to work for it towards the back end of that first half as Rodwell plays the ball. In fact, he's told to go back, play it where he was held. The former Parramatta man making his Wakefield debut this evening as Welle comes forward. A good strong carry up and over the halfway line, wrapped up by Jones. Ashurst now. Good tackle, wrapped up ball and all from Hardcastle, helped out there by Gorman. 30 metres away from the Featherstone line here. Gale to take it, going backwards, gives it to Pitts, spins into the tackle, goes down. And the challenge of Springer. He plays it for Lino. Lino on the last tackle, puts it end over end. A tricky one, it's taken there by Alphonse, who puts the ball down, in fact. And it was right into the sweet spot there, no man's land. The kicking game, the attacking kicks from Wakefield players, the Wakefield halfbacks have caused problems. Alphonse flying through to take that one, couldn't take it in the wet conditions, and a turnover in the corner for Featherstone.
Yeah, Caleb Aikens did well to get his body in the way there because, as you said, Alphonse came sprinting through onto that, took the ball and then spilled it.
So Featherstone now trying to clear their line. Hardcastle, not much space in the offering for him. Goes down in the tackle of Lino. Rodwell in there as the second man. Retreats back into the line. Win now, first touch of the ball, as you said, Mark. A half-time tactical substitution you'd have to imagine at this stage because Wakoki didn't look to be injured. So a change on the right edge for Featherstone as Springer comes forward. Bose is going to kick early here, looking for the 40-20. Didn't get quite as much of it as he wanted. Taken on one bounce by Jowett. And the kick chase is not a bad one, but Wakefield taking over possession 40 metres from their own line. As Pratt scampers across the field, cuts inside. Good tackle there from England. Over the top was Springer. 5 metres short of halfway, Wakefield. 3 minutes gone in the second half here at the Millennium Stadium. No change to the score. It's Featherstone 6, Wakefield Trinity 14. Short side play, Lino digs into the line, gives it to Thornley. Thornley standing in the challenge. Refusing to go down there, Ian Thornley plays it 30 metres out. Lino into the line. Gives it to Pitts. Pitts, good tackle there from his opposite number, Addy, but finds the offload for Lino. Lino scragged to the ground there by England. Good harassing defence from Rovers in this set, restricting Wakefield to have to kick from 30 out. Chip over the top by Gale, taken by his namesake Gareth Gale, who picks it up, beats 1-2, still going across the field. Gaz Gale, nice pick up. A difficult one to take for a tall winger, but did very well there and cleans up possession for Featherstone.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're difficult to describe just how wet the conditions are. Think about that Wakefield Cup game, and you've got a bit of it. Driving rain. Gaz Gale picked it up off his bootlaces.
So Gorman on the other side of the field here takes the tackle. Featherstone just struggling to get out of their own end a little bit here. It's good aggressive defence from Wakefield as Springer gets them going forward. As you say, the heavy rain really coming down. We're already starting to see patches of water appear on the field here as Turner just dinks the ball along the deck, and that's going to be cut off just a metre in from touch. Jowett smothered there by the chase of Minikin. Leading the line there, Minikin. Olfert's cut back in off his left foot, trying to find a little bit of space in and around the ruck. Plays it 5 short of the 40. Thornley. Steady carry through the middle of the field, advances the ball up to just shy of the halfway line, middle of the tackle count for Trinity. Walmsley, 2 tries in the first half. Doing the tough stuff through the middle this time, wrapped up by Springer. As they come forward now, Rodwell. Right into the clutches there of Addy. Over the top was Fishwick. Wakefield 30 metres out on the last. Lino's going to kick again here. To the swirling rain. And it goes in between Gale, and it's knocked on there by the Wakefield man into the arms of Gale. And it's actually a penalty. The Wakefield chasers inside the 10 there, offside from the kick. And a poor bit of discipline from Wakefield there, because that kick, ultimately I don't know whether it was communication or just not sure about the way that kick was floating, but Akins and Gareth Gale having a real mix-up there, and potentially it could have been really costly.
Definitely no communication at all between Gale and Akins. They just allowed it to bounce, and once you've done that, well, anything could happen. As it turns out, Wakefield chasers were offside. Interesting that last set of 6 that Featherstone had. First chance we've had to have a look at Paul Turner and his kicking game. And he put a nice little kick through, not enough depth on it, but he just made it stand up before the touchline. We don't know how long Tommy Lacans is going to be out injured, but if that is a layoff, and we hope it's not, but we're going to have to be relying on Turner to bring his kicking game to Rovers, and that'll be interesting to see how it develops.
Absolutely, it's very important to have at least two accomplished kickers of the ball, and as you say, in the last few sets, Turner starting to put boot to ball a little bit there to complement the work of Bowes. As the penalty kick to touch on the far side from Rovers, game back underway. England plays it 5 short of halfway. So Featherstone, through Minikin, are already 5 metres into Wakefield territory. Just had a brief stoppage there with a Wakefield man receiving some treatment. I believe it might be Matty Ashurst. In fact, it's not. I'm trying to work out who it is who's left the field on the far side here for Wakefield. As Rovers come forward, short pass there from Addy to Springer. The Wakefield defence was alert to that threat. I believe it's Jay Pitts who's come from the field for Wakefield, so a little bit of a reshuffle in the middle for Trinity perhaps, as Bowes, against his former club, goes down in the tackle there of Welle. Addy, first receiver. No nonsense carry this time, straight through the middle. Advances the ball up to the 30. Featherstone on the last, got a kick from 30 out. Turner puts it high this time into the night sky once again. A swirling one for Jowett, takes it well, and a good kick chase there for Featherstone, pinning Wakefield inside in their own corner there, as Olferts tries to get the ball going forward here. Good tackle there from Turner, still inside their own 20. 2 tackles gone, Trinity. But a very, very difficult side to contain as Thornley comes forward once again. No change to the half-time score, it remains Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 14. And make it 7 minutes of the second half gone at the Millennium Stadium. Listening live on FRTV. Betfred Championship Round 2 clash on Good Friday. As Gale gives the ball out to Jowett. Jowett onto Thornley. In fact, it's Pratt on this side. And he's wrapped up. Good tackle down low from Bowes. Gorman was over the top. This will be the last one. Gale Kicks from halfway, just drills it along the deck, off the chest of Caleb Aikens. Wakefield fans behind him claiming a knock-on, correctly not given by the referee. And Featherstone start their set about 25 metres away from their own line. And now Wakefield too quick off the mark, penalty given against them. And the first bit of advantage of this second half goes the way of Featherstone with a chance to clear their line and potentially an opportunity for an attacking set here.
Yeah, a little bit of relief for Featherstone Rovers there. A few of those big Wakefield forwards making their presence felt, and we're just starting to rock. Maybe it's time for some subs, I'm not sure. But that penalty's really put us back in Wakefield's half.
Gorman, tap restart, gives it to Hardcastle, and Hardcastle on just the first tackle now will play the ball 40 metres out from Wakefield's line. You can see just how wet the ball and the conditions have become here, but Featherstone still willing to shift the ball here as the ball comes centre field to Fishwick, who will play the ball 35 metres out. Addy, ball out the back to Turner, Turner on to Miniken. Miniken has been a good battle on that side between Miniken and Thornley, two experienced campaigners in the Super League competition, of course. As he plays it for Turner, gives it to Addy, Addy to Springer, Springer into the clutches of Rodwell. As Fishwick is actually going to come from the field, he looked to have taken a bit of a knock. Kamano back into the action for the home side. Yeah, Hardcastle.
I hope that's not terminal for Fishwick. It looked like he was carrying his wrist or something, didn't it? But Kamano back on.
Yeah, we'll try and get an update on that after the game as Addy dinks the ball in along the deck there. Picked up well, watched well there by Max Jowett, and eventually takes the tackle 5 metres from his own line. So Featherstone just getting through their sets, playing the patient game, just challenging Wakefield to come off their own line in torrential conditions, looking to force the error. They come forward again now. Thornley plays the ball, 20 out. Gale, they're going to go wide here, Wakefield. Interesting as they come forward again through Pratt. Not much ground made forward, to be honest, as they're still inside their own 30, as Walmsley up and over that line now into the arms of Kamano and bent backwards and put on the ground. A good tackle from Springer and Kamano. Last one for Wakefield. Featherstone have done well to restrict their territory as Lino's going to have to kick deep from inside his own half. Ball takes one bounce, taken by Gaz Gale now, who's got a little bit of real estate to chew up before he meets the Wakefield chase, and a good set of six defensively there as Featherstone starting to just turn the tide in terms of field position perhaps as they advance the ball up to the 40 metre line their side of halfway. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Featherstone 6, Wakefield 14. Feel like Featherstone still obviously well in this contest, but you fancy they need to be the next to score here as England stands in the tackle. A few protesting Featherstone players thought there was a high shot there, not given by the referee. Plays it on halfway. Addy just shapes the pass, keeps hold of it himself. Another arm potentially around high there from Rodwell, not given again. Last tackle, Bowes. The ball deflected and it's dropped on by the Wakefield man. There's a knock on there from Wakefield, and that's the chance, the opportunity that Featherstone were looking for. It was an untidy kick, it has to be said. Bowes, it took a deflection into the path of a Wakefield man, and the two of them, two Wakefield players, just got in each other's way. Turnover, easy to do in these kind of conditions, but importantly, Featherstone with an opportunity now. Scrum feed 30 metres out.
Absolutely, very good field position for Featherstone Rovers. Nothing dramatic over the last 5 minutes, but exactly what you said. Good game management from Featherstone. Nice defensive set. Wakefield's last set, they still didn't get out of their own half, and there's Lino just punting it downfield. Rovers a bit lucky there because the kick went skewed, but knocked on, and now they're on an attack.
So the scrum feed is won, and a penalty coming off the back of this mistake from Wakefield, compounding the error from Wakefield. They were offside from the scrum, and the tap restart taken by Kamano now. Kamano chopped down low there, and a good tackle from Doyle, and he plays it 20 metres out. What have Featherstone got here in attack? Springer upended in the tackle of Hood there. 15 metres out, back in front of the post. Options left and right, they come left. Bowes. Out to Aikens. Aikens flat pass there for England. Good tackle over the top from Vanganar and Lino. He'll play the ball 10 out. Short side play for Jones, trying to catch them napping. Goes down a couple of metres out. 5 metres in from the far left touchline. Still tackles remaining. Looping pass in field to Addy, to Springer. A little bit of a run around. Gives it to Bowes. Gives it to Aikens. Aikens straightens things up, pokes his nose through, goes down to the tackle of Ashurst. That'll be the last one. Big last play coming up for Featherstone. Short side play. Addy going to do the kicking duties. Gets it into the goal area. He's bounced off and he's knocked the ball on. Can you believe it? It was Hardcastle. The ball bounced into his hands. He had it in his hands. All he had to do was put it down. And it just bounced up too quickly for him and he knocks it on in the in-goal area. But as we see now, the momentum swings once again. A great tackle underneath from Kamano forces the ball loose. So agony to jubilation for Featherstone here. A golden opportunity. The try was there. The try was there for him and he knocked it on. But they get an immediate opportunity once again here, Mark, as we just try and catch our breath. Pulsating stuff at this end of the field.
Frantic, absolutely frantic. Great defence from Wakefield to keep us out. Superb six-tackle option from Danny Addy. Josh Hardcastle, line opens up for him, knocks on, gets a few verbals from Liam Walmsley. They get into a scrap. Wakefield pull it away. They've knocked on. Rovers celebrating that knock-on like they scored themselves. And the 6 tackles more. Centre field, 25 metres out.
Scrum feed is one, given to Bowes, into the line, out the back to Aikens, the space, Aikens double pumps, straights it up, inside Caleb Aikens, scores to the right hand side of the post, and throws the ball into the crowd. He's mobbed by his teammates, and they were knocking on the door for a few sets before that, but this time, Featherstone find the right play. Caleb Aikens out the back off the scrum win, ghosted on the outside of his man, had a man on the outside, he didn't need him, he dummied, sold the dummy, went back in field and touches down to the right hand side of the post. Just what Featherstone needed to start this second half. They're back in the game once again. It's Featherstone Rovers 10, Wakefield Trinity 14.
Glorious try from Caleb Aikens. We've been praising his defensive position all afternoon. We've been praising his try-saving tackling. And there's a reason why we didn't want to stick him in the halves, because he's a brilliant fullback. He's chimed into the line there. He's stepped outside. He's stepped inside. He's ghosted over. It's a brilliant try. We're right back in it. There's going to be a 2-point ball game if he kicks this, and he should. It's near enough to the post. Game on at 14-12. Absolutely brilliant work from Aikens.
Now, we mentioned there the rain continuing to come down. I feel like a bit of a broken record talking about how heavy the rain is, but Featherstone willing to chance their arm, willing to play in a style of rugby that defies the conditions here as Gorman slots the ball between the posts. We have a 2-point game. It's Featherstone 12, Wakefield 14. And as I was saying, the slickness of the play and the wide open space that they created there, Featherstone, really sort of almost caught Wakefield out a little bit, willing to chance their arm in these conditions and coming up trumps for the home side.
We got what we deserved. Super play. Wakefield defended their line to the last, but it opened up for Rovers to score. We thought we bottled a chance, but Wakefield's mistake has been punished. Caleb Aikens.
What a fantastic final 25 minutes we've got here at the Millennium Stadium. Just 2 points in it. Featherstone Rovers 12, Wakefield Trinity 14. You're listening live on FRTV. Who's going to take the spoils in this Betfred Championship Round 2 clash? As Featherstone come forward again. Miniken got his arm free, still taking defenders with him, eventually goes down on his own 20. Featherstone just need to, first and foremost, just need to complete the set here. Complete the set, get downfield, put Wakefield under more pressure. Kamano playing as acting half there. Gives it on to Addy. Addy's been enormous for Featherstone so far in the middle. Hasn't had a break yet, the skipper. Plays it, going to kick early here from Jones. Gets plenty on it. Jowett having to get across. Didn't quite have the angle for a 40-20, but Jowett waits for the ball to come to a stop. Short side, he's wrapped up there in a tackle from Wynn, and he's given a penalty away. And Jowett stayed down there. I don't think there was a great deal in that challenge, to be honest. It maybe creeped a little bit high, but there wasn't a lot of forceful contact. And Wynn just apologises to his teammates, says that's everything Featherstone had done after the points, after scoring there was perfect up to that point. And again, we keep saying it. Fine margins, you creep slightly high there. Wakefield get an easy clearance off their own line after what would look like they'd be put under yet more pressure.
Super work from Connor Johns from acting halfback to put in a deep kick. Great chase from 5 defenders to pin them in their own 25. Connor Wynn, he puts his hand up, he recognises it. He's a little bit unlucky as well, because I thought that the attacker's falling as he tackles him, but it's a head high and the referee's giving it.
So Pratt off the restart, tackled by Kamano on halfway. Bang in front in the middle of the field here. Bowden back on the field for the visitors. Backpedaling his way up to the 40. Featherstone side of halfway this time. 2 tackles gone for Trinity. Just a 2-point lead now as Vangenaar goes down. Good tackle down low there by Addy. Doyle, so plays knocked down there. It's towed on there by Gale, and he's knocked down, and it's going to be given as a penalty, I think, against Featherstone here.
No, he's played the knock-on, hasn't he?
He has given a knock-on, I beg your pardon. I thought he was going to call the play back there for Gale had hacked the ball on Luke Gale. He took a tumbling back play, but I thought at the time it was just a contest for the ball. Interested to see who ends up getting possession here, because the pass that came out to a Tony definitely took a deflection.
Yeah. I thought that was a Rovers knock-on, and then he was just playing a little bit of advantage, but I may be wrong, because he's now bringing out somebody for a word.
Yeah, interesting to see what's gone on here. I didn't see a lot of...
He's threatening Brad England, and he's giving him 10.
In fact, he's going to give him 10.
So something's happened, hasn't it?
I think it must be for that challenge on Luke Gale, I think.
Right.
Coming through, Luke Gale had towed the ball on. He was herring after the ball. I don't think there's any necessary thing that he would have scored, but it's a professional foul, I think, for the interference from Brad England, and goes to the sin bin. And a crucial moment in this game, if you like. Featherstone have worked really hard to get back into the game, and the ill discipline there of England just... I mean, we haven't had a chance to see it again, but Luke Gale definitely did go to ground in the challenge from one of the Featherstone players, and duly been given 10 minutes for that. And Max Jowett now with a penalty conversion from about the same place as he took it in the first half, just to nudge Wakefield's lead out to a 4-point gap.
Yeah, maybe a reflection of conditions, Tom, but interesting choice to go for goal. You're 2 points up, and now you've chosen to go 4 points up. Now, they're inside Rovers 25. That's maybe a sign of how tight Wakefield think this game is going to be. We've talked about fine margins all afternoon, haven't we? And it's now 13 on 12 for 10 minutes. And if the conditions are energy sapping before, well, without Brad England's industry and energy on the field, it's going to be just that bit more difficult for Featherstone Rovers from now on, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly will be, as Jowett pilots the ball between the posts once again. Scoreline now, Wakefield leading Featherstone by 16 points to 12, and ironic jeers and cheering below us, as you may not be able to see it, but as they were coming back on side, Matty Ashurst and Luke Gale just falling over each other. Josh Bowden, in fact, and Luke Gale just falling over each other. A real comedy act from 2 former Hull FC players there, and just looking around bemused and perhaps a little bit embarrassed as they get the game back underway. A Tony now into the teeth of the Featherstone defence, and they're driving back in a good strong challenge there. Kamano, chief tackler in that challenge. Olferts. I believe the rain has subsided momentarily as we're into the final quarter of this game. 19 and a half minutes we have it on the clock in the ground. Featherstone 12, Wakefield 16, just the 2 Max Jowett penalty goals between the 2 sides at the moment, 2 converted tries apiece. And very, very little to choose between the 2 teams as Lino puts boot to ball early. The Scott Gale going backwards here. Has to get on his bike to get after this one. Picks it up 8 metres from his own line. The chase is a good one from Trinity. And they swallow him up on his own 10. And a great piece of play there from Lino. The chase was just as good as the kick, as Featherstone now, the Devils' own job to get out of their own end here, as Miniken's bent backwards in the tackle. Real awkward looking tackle there for Miniken. He's just told to get up and play the ball. Turner to Hardcastle now.
Quite clear the tactics from Wakefield there, wasn't it? Big deep kick, trying to pin us into his own half and take over possession and with good field position. Intelligent play really from Trinity.
Yeah, we've seen hints of that from the half-backs Lino and Gale all day, haven't they? Just coming up with the right play when needed to just ease the pressure as Wynn plays the ball on his own 40. Bowes gives it to Addy out the back now to Turner, into the line, onto Aikins. Aikins looking to slip the net, almost ghosted through the line there, but a good tackle on the inside in the end from Lino. Last tackle from their own 40. Turner's just going to put it into the sky once again here, looking to put Jowett under pressure. It got big on him. Jowett's knocked the ball on. It goes backwards into the arms. That's surely a knock-on against the Wakefield man. It's given us gone backwards. I mean, he was very fortunate there, Max Jowett. Lachlan Walmsley tidying it up for him on his own 5. But that's certainly, with still plenty of time to come, that'll certainly be something that Turner's clock there will be certainly sending more traffic Max Jowett's ways, cries for a forward pass there from not given again, so Wakefield riding their luck a little bit in this set as Walmsley stumbles, falls to the ground in front of Gorman, wrapped up on the 30-metre line. Bowden, big shot coming in from Kamado, what a tackle that is from the Featherstone prop forward, really making his presence felt on his opposite man. Last one. Featherstone have wrapped things up defensively in this set. Leader's going to have to kick from deep again. This will be cut off on the full by Aikins. Just gives it on to Gale now. Gale's got a bit of room to wind up and just steams it into the Wakefield defence. Real end-to-end set for set. Attritional stuff here. 4 points the margin. Featherstone 12, Wakefield 16. 18 minutes of the contest remaining here at the Millennium Stadium. What have Featherstone got? They've had the better of the majority of this second half, but Wakefield, through penalty goals, just keeping them at arm's length at the moment. They need to get up the other end of the field as the 12-man Featherstone, of course. Brad England in the sin bin at the moment. Albert back on the field now. Almost straight through the middle. Good second effort there from Hood to put him down. In fact, it was Doyle. Short side play for Buzz. Buzz just takes them on through the middle of the ruck. Good low tackle from Attorney. Plays the ball 30 metres out. Aikins stabs the kick through. It's dropped on by the Wakefield man. Deflected off Gale, I think, into the arms of Pratt, who just dropped on it. And Wakefield come forward. Jowett with a tough carry, knocked off his feet by Gorman. Still inside their own 30, Wakefield after 2 tackles. Walmsley finds his feet this time and stands in the tackle, goes down in the challenge of Danny Addy. Second effort, told to just get up and play the ball, trying to milk a penalty. They go wide again. Isaiah Vangenaar this time, wrapped up by Miniken. The defence on the edges has been good from Featherstone in this second half. Albert, stepped there by Doyle. Doyle cut down. Good challenge, had to be made by Hardcastle. Last one, 40 metres out. Gale under pressure. Drops it between Aikins and Gale, and it's just going to trickle over the dead ball line. So, not what Wakefield would have wanted. They'll back the defence, of course, but Featherstone with a 7-tackle set here and a crucial opportunity to try and get down the other end of the field, as just told to go back for the restart. Danny Addy, the man, I believe, not quite getting back on side, but the amount of work he's got through, we can forgive him that on this occasion.
The way the substitutes bench is lined up is Danny Addy just has to do the 80 minutes, doesn't he? Did it last week, and the fact that he's towing now is just entirely understandable, especially 12 men.
Absolutely, but so far in this game, Featherstone have played the 12 men exceptionally well. Wakefield have not fired a shot really and have been pinned in their own half as Featherstone coming down field again. Albert just a little bit of a juggle there, finds the offload for Jones. Jones tucks under a Tony, but just managed to grab hold of his arm, puts him to ground on halfway in the mud bath in the middle. Addy off his left foot, gives the ball there to Albert again. Albert goes down on Wakefield's 40 now. Featherstone 12, Wakefield 16.
I've not name-checked him yet, but Connor Jones has got through an absolute stack of work in the middle of the field. Acting halfback, running, tackling, superb effort.
As the kick comes forward again here, and Jowett making a real mess of that again. Really not confident under those high kicks at the moment from Turner. That's 2 from 2. He's got nowhere near. He was lucky there that Luke Gale was in front and the ball bounced favourably for him, but you sense as the game goes on and more fatigue sets in, there's an opportunity there for Featherstone. There's Jowett, who up until the last 5 or 6 minutes has been very solid under the kicks, but really, really not confident under those at the moment.
He's a class fullback, but one went straight through his hands, and that one he didn't want to know. It bounced on the floor, and obviously when it bounced, it can go anywhere. Lucky for Wakefield.
Absolutely. Bowden plays the ball 5 short of halfway. They come down this short side now. Gale drops it off for Pratt. Good tackle there. Hardcastle. Albert came in to finish him off. Last tackle on halfway, Wakefield. Leader juggles, kicks it. Another high hanging one here. This will be a tester for Gale this time. Gareth Gale takes it cleanly and runs it back at Liam Hood. 14.5 minutes to go. Featherstone at 12, Wakefield Trinity 16. And the penalty goes against Wakefield here, inside the 10 metres once again. Not square at marker. And a chance, another half chance here for Featherstone. One try, you'd imagine, may be enough for Featherstone in this game. There's still plenty of time remaining, of course, but they've been behind all game here, but they've never gone away, Featherstone, and they have the opportunity. The tap restart off the penalty on the halfway line, taken by Miniken. Miniken wrapped up in the tackle of Vangenaar and Thornley. Turner. Short pass there for Albert. Springer back on the field now for his third spell in this game. James Ford getting the French international through plenty of minutes. He's been one of Featherstone's best. Straight into the action once again. Short ball taken low there by Hood. 30 metres out. Addy just tucks the ball under his arm this time. Carry through the middle of the field. 20 metres out. Turner. Gives it out to Bose. Bose out to Aikins. Aikins to Gorman. Gorman has to stand in the tackle. That was well read by Wakefield, who are dragging him into touch here. And he's put over the touchline. And that'll be a turnover. A simple turnover in the end. They've just got enough men into the tackle there. Kept his ball carrying arm off the floor and bundled him into touch. And hasn't done much wrong, Louis Gorman there. But just perhaps his stature. Thornley, Pratt, I beg your pardon. And with help from Wormsley and Gale, just got numbers on him and bundle him into touch. Yeah,
two strong tacklers get underneath him. There's absolutely nothing Louis Gorman can do about that. Wet conditions as well. It dragged him over the touchline. Unfortunately, just couldn't find the floor. Brad England back on, 13 against 13.
So Featherstone not paying too much of a price there for the sin binning of Brad England. Back up to the full complement, as you say. 12 and a half minutes to go. It's still Featherstone 12. Wakefield Trinity 16. Who's going to step up and win this game as Wakefield come forward? Thornley. Thrown to the ground there in the tackle of Camano. Got through Albert, I beg your pardon. Got through plenty of work since coming back into the action. Pratt, relieving run up the middle of the ruck. 20 metres or so he's picked up there. Goes down just shy of halfway. Hood. Good tackle again there from Albert. Strong contact on the ball. Wakefield. Gale gives it to a Tony. A Tony spins out of one tackle through the middle of the field. A Tony looking to try and get his arm free, and eventually he's wrapped up by England, and Springer came from a long way away to finish off that tackle. Plays the ball on the last. 15 out. Lino puts it into the corner. It's knocked backwards and into the arms there of Brad England, who was there just in case, getting back on side. Tidies things up for Featherstone. Looked to be a little bit of a danger there. You get the sense that Wakefield are looking to pull the trigger on those short kicks. As Gale comes forward with another carry.
We're just a bit lucky there, weren't we? Huge run from Tony in the middle, and Wakefield looking dangerous down there right again. But the ball ended up in Brad England's arms, and grateful he was too.
So Featherstone still trapped inside their own 20. Springer fired out of a cannon, loses the ball. And Vangenaar gives it to Jowett on the counter now. He's going to try to go around his man. There's space out wide here for Wormsley. Gorman gets a crossing cover. And in fact, he's taken high there. I'm not sure who the Featherstone man is that was penalised. Maybe Connor Wynn was involved in that tackle as well. Just desperation from three Featherstone shirts to get across and try and stop Jowett. Eventually taken high. Featherstone have barely put a foot wrong in the context of this game and making mistakes, but I think it was Hardcastle actually, the man in over the top, but they haven't made many errors at all in this second half, Featherstone, but a crucial one coming at the wrong time at the wrong end of the field has given Wakefield the impetus here again.
Yeah, they're a dangerous side, aren't they? I mean, Max Jarrett's picked that up there. Classic bit of counter-attacking full-back play, sprinted down this near touchline side. Rovers have come across. I'm not seeing a lot in the tackle there. I think he's going to have a word with Josh perhaps, but I mean, I don't think there's much in that. But dangerous. You can't give Wakefield too many of these chances, and up to now we haven't. Yeah,
they've been pretty squeaky clean in the second half, but it's just Springer there, fired up from the previous defensive set, just came flying onto that ball and just went without it. And as you say, the counter-attack straight into the arms of Jowett. Jowett looked to get on the outside of his man. Desperation efforts from Featherstone, and it's going to be interesting to see what the referee does here. And it looks like Springer's struggling with some sort of issue here as well, and it's going to call out Josh Hardcastle, the referee.
Keenan told me some warming up to come on, so maybe you're right about Springer, and he's giving him 10 minutes. To be honest, I just think that's harsh. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a head-eye. We've seen a few of these. Look at the conditions. You know, Josh he's mistimed it. But I don't think he's gone that high. But that's harsh. That's harsh. We've put it all on the line to cover those 10 minutes when Brad England was in the bin, and now Josh Hardcastle in the bin. We're back down to 12 for the rest of the game, aren't we?
Yeah, I believe we're inside. We've got 8.5 minutes to go. I make it in the stadium clock, and a bit of more bad news that Gadwin Springer's limping from the field here. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to get a check up on that one. But we'll stay with the action here as Wakefield have got the chance to shut the door on Featherstone. Featherstone need desperation in this defensive set. Down to 12 men as Keenan Tomlinson has just come on in back play for his 100th career appearance. As Wakefield come forward, Lino double pumps to Jowett, who seems to have recovered from that knock. Spins away from 1-2 tackles, eventually wrapped up by Albert. A try here for Wakefield. I feel it'll be a long way back for Featherstone as Tony is wrapped up, spun to the ground there. Good one-on-one shot there from England. Doyle out to Lino, Lino out the back. Gale to Jowett, Jowett's cleaned up there. The ball coming into back play, wrapped up by the Featherstone man. You'd imagine that will be a knock-on given against Featherstone. Just for getting his hand to them. It was a huge collision there. Jowett really been on the receiving end of a few of those in the last couple of minutes. He's back on his feet. Aggressive defence from Connor Wynn, comes in, finds his man, hits him hard, ball spilled out, and obviously a knock-on. So Wakefield scrum. Yeah, he must have got his hand to it there, Connor Wynn. He had to come in and shut that down. But more often than not, you always see if the ball gets knocked down, takes a ricochet, more than often it's given as a knock-on against the defender, and it will be ultimately a fresh set of 6 for Wakefield, 10 metres out. Knocking on the door, 8 minutes 45 on the clock. Scrum feed needs to be taken again. The referee wasn't happy with that one. Huge set 6 this, isn't it? Massive for Featherstone. They quite simply need to hold Wakefield out as Lino bumps away from England but can't get away from Tomlinson. Fresh legs on the field for James Ford's men for the final 10 minutes. The 12-man Featherstone Rovers. Josh Hardcastle in the sin bin. Vanganar now stands in the tackle of Tomlinson, getting into plenty of defensive work off the bench now. Gale off his left foot finds Hood. Hood going across field, but not much room going forward as he's wrapped up again by Tomlinson to make that the third successive tackle he's made there, Tomlinson. 10 metres out, spin it back in field. Gale, crossfield, gives it to a Tony, almost went without it, keeps hold of it. Stands in the challenge. Still a couple of tackles to come for Trinity. Doyle, short ball there for Bowden. Great defensive play for Featherstone. They got 4 numbers into the tackle there to bring him down in the shadow of the uprights. Last one. Pass out to Gale. Gale to Lino. Lino out to Jowett. Jowett on to Wobsley, who's on a hat-trick, and he scores in the corner and runs to celebrate with his teammates and the fans. Max Jowett, the architect, once again. And that could potentially be the try that seals the 2 points for Wakefield Trinity. Lachlan Wobsley completes his hat-trick. It was the set play once again from right to left. Through the hands it came, into the arms of Max Jowett. Cut out pass to Wobsley, who had an acrobatic dive in the corner, but in fairness, he had a little bit of room to move there, and Featherstone's defence getting caught out on the right edge, their right edge once again, Wakefield's left. Wobsley touches down, and that could be the try that breaks Featherstone hearts. It's Featherstone Rovers 12, Wakefield Trinity 20. I think we've just seen the match winner, haven't we? 73rd minute, heroic defence from Featherstone Rovers for the full set of 6, 12 against 13 again. We've been under the cosh, but Wakefield, smart play, they've kept it alive, they've moved it left, they've moved it out to Walmsley again, and well, that's his hat-trick, but no disgrace in that for Featherstone. Obviously we were outnumbered on our right edge defence, but that's understandable because we're a man down. Hard to see us coming back from this now. Wakefield 8 points clear, just 6 minutes left. Well, Featherstone will certainly not be losing belief. They've kept coming all the way through this game, even when Wakefield in the first half threatened to kick clear. But with 6 minutes to go, the margin currently 8, potentially 10 with this kick from Jowett. Time is becoming the enemy for Featherstone here. Jowett again, as he has with all 3 of Walmsley's tries, has the conversion attempt from about half a metre in from this left touchline, 25 metres out. Tricky one, but he's been perfect from the boot so far. Steps up, and he's put that one well to the left of the post. And the scoreline remains Featherstone Rovers 12, Wakefield Trinity 8. And we're approaching the final 5 minutes of this one. And Featherstone, at crucial times, finding themselves on the wrong side of the referee, whether those calls were harsh or not. The end result has been a couple of sin binnings in the second half, which has really not helped as Featherstone get the ball back on the short kick-off. That was a great piece of play.
Come on, Rovers,
from Turner.
Super.
They got the ball back. A try here in this set sets us up for a grandstand finish, but it needs to be now for Featherstone as Albert comes forward. Left hood on the floor. Plays it 30 out. Addy onto England now. England pushes himself forward another couple of metres into the Wakefield 20. They come left. Addy off the left foot. Bumps away from one. Finds the offload for Jones. Jones nowhere to go through the middle of the ruck. Just straightens things up again. Aikens. Try scorer in the second half. The only try scorer for Featherstone in this second half as he plays the ball 10 metres out. Options left and right. They come left. Bose. Tomlinson hits the ball at pace. He's backing his way up to the line here. He's going to go close, but he's not going to be able to get over the line. And Wakefield actually deliberately take him into the in goal just to buy a little bit more territory. The referee tells him to go back and just play the ball in front of the uprights. This is the last one. Huge play for Featherstone. Needs to be now. The ball comes out to Turner. Long ball to Aikens. There's space. Gorman goes on the outside. He's run out of room there. Win fends away from 1-2. Gives it back to Aikens. Aikens stabs the ball into territory. It's taken by Lino, and Lino just manages to stay in the field of play. In fact, he's not backwards, but it's given as a penalty against Featherstone. Lino was grounded probably half a metre short of the line. He was immediately tackled by the Featherstone men. There was argument to say the momentum had taken him back into the in-goal area, but I think in the modern day game we often see it, as harsh as it looks. As soon as you put your hands on the man, he's deemed tackled, and that was unfortunately always going to be a penalty against Featherstone.
Much as it pains me to say it, I think you're right there. I mean, we tackled Lino underneath the sticks there, but in play we've pushed him back over the line. The referee's pinged us for it. It's a shame. There was a lot going on in that set of six. We had a chance. Caleb Aikens kicked through, kept it alive, but Wakefield bringing it away from their own line now.
Featherstone looking to attack with the defence here, running out of time. 3.5 minutes to go. Featherstone 12, Wakefield 20. A Tony who's been a real handful and the catalyst for getting Wakefield back on the front foot here. Takes 3 men with him. Still going, Renner, for Tony. How difficult is he to tackle? Eventually is held on the halfway line. Gale gives it to Ashurst. Ashurst stands in the tackle. Gorman comes again. Albert and Bose in to help out. Plays it quickly. Doyle gives it to Hood. Lino and to Rodwell.
You can just see with Hood and Lino and Gale, they're smart enough to see where the gaps are in the Featherstone 12-man defence.
As Lino finds the ball out, fires the ball out to Orphans, given us a forward pass. And we must be inside the final couple of minutes here of the game, and I think Featherstone are just going to run out of time here. Wakefield with that all-important 8-point cushion. It's been end-to-end action. Really fierce contest in the middle of the field. Featherstone have been exceptionally competitive as Gorman goes without the ball and he just knocks it on. A bit of desperation there in the final few stages of this game. They had to try and keep the ball alive. You could see what they were trying to do. The pass out of the tackle was an untidy one and just knocked on there by Gorman. High fives all around for Wakefield, and that could just about do us, I think, in terms of this contest, as Wakefield have a scrum feed 10 metres out now.
Yeah, unlucky there for Gorman. He's had a good game. He's stood up in defence. He's only a youngster, but there's some big Wakefield three-quarters been running at him all afternoon. He's handled it. We've been occasionally outnumbered on that side as well, but ball's gone to ground, and Wakefield look like they're going to end the game in possession inside our 25.
So Gale feeds the scrum, taken by Doyle, given to Lino. Lino just hands it on to Thornley. Thornley straightens things up, takes it to within 5 metres of the whitewash. Plays it, centre field now for Lino, gives it on to Hood, who's playing a bit of a loose forward role in the middle as they lost Jay Pitts about 20 minutes ago. Plays the ball 10 metres out to the right-hand side of the post. Gale, out to Lino, to Jowett. Jowett over the top this time, wants there to go back for it. Doesn't have the space he'd had previously. Comes back in field, and he's wrapped up. Good tackle there from England. Still tackles in the bag for Wakefield. 10 metres out, Doyle loses the ball into the arms of Aikins. Aikins with a counter. Featherstone not quite sure how long's left. Can't be any more than a minute or two. They need to throw caution to the wind here. Tomlinson, 1 minute on the clock. Featherstone 12, Wakefield 20. And barring a miracle, it certainly helped with a penalty there against Wakefield. Barring a miracle, Wakefield are just going to get out of town here with the vital 2 competition points in this local Good Friday derby. Featherstone have given it everything. They've endured 2 sin binnings in the second half and have made a real contest of it, but looks like Wakefield are going to get the spoils at the end of the day here. Tomlinson plays the ball. Can't be more than a few plays left in this game as Albert comes forward now, up and over the halfway line. The tackle again there from Burden. Bowes gives it to Gorman. Gorman stands up his man, tries to go around Pratt as the siren sounds, and the referee will blow full time. And a real tough battle from start to finish between 2 of the best sides in the Betfred Championship. Early front runners, early favourites. Wakefield Trinity just come away with the 2 competition points. It was a battle from start to finish, played in persistently and increasingly difficult conditions as the weather deteriorated. Wakefield took an 8-point lead into the break thanks to 2 tries from Lachlan Wormsley and a penalty goal from Max Jowett, with just Danny Addy replying for the home side. Then Featherstone started the second half really well. Caleb Aikins going over to cut the gap to just 2 before Max Jowett guided over another penalty goal either side of a Brad England and Josh Hardcastle sin binning, with Lachlan Wormsley 5 minutes from time completing his hat-trick to give Wakefield the breathing space. It's finished at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone Rovers 12, Wakefield Trinity 20. Mark, ultimately this game ends in disappointment for Featherstone in terms of the result, but plenty of things that James Ford will be proud of from his players, plenty of things to build on against what is ultimately going to be the yardstick of this competition in Wakefield Trinity.
Definitely, Trinity are a top side, and Rovers can look at it and say, oh, if we had a bit more composure, if we'd have played the second half with 13 against 13, maybe we would have been in with a shout. But there's a lot of positive to take out of this. It's a young squad that's still coming together with big changes from last year. We're only going to get better and better. Early days in the season, but we're not going to play a stronger side than this Wakefield outfit. Very well coached, kept coming at us for 80 minutes, exploited our weaknesses. But we're going to only get better and better. There's only 8 points between the sides today. And like you say, with a bounce of the ball, a bit more composure, could have been even closer than that.
Absolutely. And you're saying, like, many teams, many people, many pundits around the game tip Wakefield to not lose a game this season. Featherstone have already proved that they are human, they are mortal. They beat them in the Challenge Cup 3 weeks ago, going very close to doing the same again today. Just how much belief does that give Featherstone as a springboard for the rest of the season, ultimately at very early stages in what is a long campaign?
Plenty. On an individual basis, you can see players growing week by week, fitting into the system, getting more confidence, enjoying the rugby. It looks like a good team spirit that we're developing there as well. Players stepping into unusual positions for them. We've seen Harry Bowles give another 80 minutes at halfback. We've seen players like Connor Jones run his blood to water at 9 for 80 minutes. As players come back from injury, as young Turner, he steps up at halfback. There's a lot of positives to take into the next game, but they don't stop, do they? Because next Sunday we're going to have to take on Bradford, another team who people are talking about as definite top 4 possibilities this year. So we'll have to dust ourselves down and get on with it next week.
You're absolutely right. The start to the season doesn't get any easier for Featherstone, who are 1 win, 1 loss to start the season so far. They march on to take on Bradford, as you say, next week. But it's full time here. It's finished at the Millennium Stadium on Good Friday. Featherstone Rovers 12, Wakefield Trinity 20. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend.